Hello and welcome to consoletrading.com's video on wings, blocks and groups in MA2. Today's video is recorded in MA on PC version 3.1.2.5, which at the time of recording is the latest version. Today we're using a show file that's been provided by one of our sponsors, and let's run a little bit of a advert for them. Today's video is proudly sponsored by MA Stages. Find their website at mastages.wordpress.com. Now let's jump straight into it. So here we have a bit of a setup. We've got some fixtures patched, and we're going to jump in to the combined view for a sec and we'll have a look at all our fixtures. So we've got some Vipers, we've got some profiles, so those were Viper washers, these are Viper profiles, some Sharpies including washers and normal Sharpies, and then also some auras. Now we're not really going to play too much with this rig. The link to the show file that we've used in this is available in the video description, and it's a really good show file that's come off the MA3D Stages page. To be honest, I was going to create a show file for this, but it was going to be a lot more basic, and I thought, well, why not use one of these fantastic show files and save some time. So anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at effects. So we're going to start by just grabbing our Viper washers, and we're going to look at some of the effects that you can run across them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and right click on our effects, and we're going to go load predefined, and we're just going to look at a dimmer chase for a second. So we're going to run our dimmer chase, and we're going to see that firstly it's way too quick, so we're going to fix that. I'm going to drop the speed down to 15. And we can see we've got a dimmer chase running, and it's going through rather quickly, and it's doing one fixture at a time. Now, the first thing we can do is, if we don't want it to just do a chase of one fixture, we can add in blocks. So if we say that we want it in blocks of 3, when we run this again, we can see it's doing blocks of 3. And because we've got an even amount of fixtures, we get that weird look of the 3 fixtures separated. The other thing we can do is we can remove blocks. We can go to wings, and it's going to start from the outside and run inwards, which looks like that. And if we want to see it a little bit more clearly, what we can do is we can modify the low value to something like 25. And we can see a preview of all our fixtures. Well, not a preview, but we can see the effect running across the fixtures. So rather than it being a giant, huge drop in intensity, we can run this and we can see a little bit of a difference of what we're doing. We can also switch it up. We can change the form to a sine. And here we can't see as clearly what it's doing. So if we remove our low value, we set it back to 0, we run it again, we can see that it's running a block of 2, and because it's a sine wave, it's not doing it just fixture by fixture. So if we remove the wings and put in blocks of 4, it's going to do it in a lot more of a blocky fashion. So we can see, instead of fading one fixture at a time, next after next after next, it's doing them in blocks of 4. The other thing we can do is we'll go back to our chase again. We can also use groups. So we're going to go with 4 groups. And we can see what it's doing is it's taking our dimmer chase and it's making it 4 groups, which looks a bit stilted because it's taking the entire rig and keeping with that BPM of 15 and just going click, 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 click. So if you upped it to 8 groups, so we'll double it, we can see it looks a bit better. And it's doing in blocks of, well, groups of 8. If we go groups of 8, blocks of 3, it's doing it in blocks, but it's keeping them in our 3 fixture types. sorry, in our 3 grouping types. Block types is the word I'm looking for. Let's have a look at another fixture. We've got sun strips here as well. If we run just a simple dimmer chase and we make it winged, it's going to go from the outside in. Or we can do it as a sign, as we've just done before. And you can do it like that. Now, we've done it over dimmers. You can also do it with a pan tilt or something. So let's go with a tilt sign. And we'll grab our, in this case, let's grab our Sharpies. And we'll run just a normal tilt sign. And we see that it's slowly going to do them. Let's put them in a cross position so we can see it a bit better. And let's actually just use one row for the moment. So let's lose our LX2 ones. So we can see it's a dim sign, it's running. If we change it to a winged dim sign, we can see it starts from the outside and works in. What we can also do is we can change the direction so it works from the inside outwards. Or we can even make it bounce so it goes from the outside in to the inside out. And now we can see the bounce, and now it's going back in the other direction. And with that running, what we can do is we can also grab just a color. Let's just grab it like this, and we're going to go grab the mixed colors, including white, and let's actually just make it red. And we'll give it 2 wings, and we'll grab something, because the Sharpies don't have it, we'll grab our Vipers. We'll run our tilt sign at the same time, and then we'll also run that red effect. And we can see that it's running there. So if we drop our green down, it's running a blocked sign on that. If you want to get a bit smarter, what you can do is you can grab, let's say, the Sharpies, find some colors. So we're going to find 2 colors that are close to each other. We'll go orange, and we'll store that there. And we'll find aquamarine, and we'll store that there. And we're going to create our own effect. So we're going to make a selective effect. So the way that we've done these effects, I'm backtracking a little, but you can see on all the icons, there's a little S and there's a little T. So the S means that it's a selective effect, so we can see that we've got a quantity of 33, and if I click show selection, it's going to select those fixtures. So if I open up a view that's got a fixture list, and we go programmer only, we can see that it selects all those fixtures in that effect. So if we wanted to clear that, if we've got nothing selected, so if we clear our programmer and we click take selection, it turns from a selective effect into an effect that can be run on anything. But we'll go back to our nice little Sharpie one we were running. We'll grab our Sharpies, we'll go at full, we'll store an effect, and we're going to put it over our color wheel. And then where we used our high and low values before, we're going to make, oh interesting, it didn't take the Sharpies. Interesting. Now what you should get there is the color wheel positions, which is quite bizarre. So by having selective colors, when you create an effect, that should work. So we're going to try recreating that again. We're going to go Sharpies. We're going to go Store. Store it here. Going to grab color wheel 1. We're going to look for high and low values, and there are still no high and low values, which is interesting because we've stored them. Let's try that again, shall we? Ah, I think I know what I've done. So the colors I've chosen will be only for one set of them. Yes, that's right. So my own stupidity. There we go. So we'll create our effect again. We'll quickly delete that effect. We'll grab only our Sharpies. Then we'll store the effect. And then go color wheel 1. And then for low value, we'll have red, and for a high value we'll have cyan. And then when we run it and we give it intensity, we can see that it's running between those two colors. So what we can do is we can do what we've done with all our other effects. We can wing it, and that's a really good visual representation of a winged effect right there. And we can run it again, and it goes from the inside out. And in the visualizer, we can see a winged effect running. And we can reverse it back to the normal way. And we can see it running like that. We can also do the same thing we've done, which is blocks. Which is sort of not even. We can go 0, we can go groups. So we want it in, what do we got? Do it in 4 groups. We can do it in 4 groups and blocks of 2, just to combine everything together. Now, the thing that the visualizer doesn't show is, in real life, there's a half color in between those. So if we look at a Sharpie, we can see it goes orange, orange 2, which is the half color, then aquamarine, which is something you have to be aware of when using color wheel fixtures. But you can still do some nice color snaps. You just can't go, you know, let's say we clear that. It'll look a bit ugly if you go to something right at the other end. So, you know, we go green and you put that in and you modify your effect and you change your high value to green. The visualizer will actually show it. We'll show the colors in between, which is good because that sometimes catches people out. With a CMY fixture, you wouldn't have this problem because it's using CMY flags. But that is a basic video on how to deal with blocks, wings, and groups. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Hughes, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop by our lovely new website, consoletraining.com, with a lovely new logo and everything. Thank you for watching.